His name has stood the test of time.
What a beautiful goal from Pele! El Rey Pele! 100 goals for Brazil!
Yet few can boast of having seen him play today. Pele is a bit of a fantasy football legend, a monument of the past that the history books have trouble telling. 767 goals in total, maybe 1,284. It's hard to say, but the Brazilian was one of the first icons that football has ever known. Pele's career is a novel, which has definitely changed the image of the footballer throughout the world. Subscribe to Megafoot, the best of football in video. Don't worry, don't be sad. I'll win you a World Cup. Only 10 years old, and Edson Arantes do Nascimento says these words to his father. In the favelas de Bauru, far from the dreams of children, television has not yet arrived in the homes. People gathered around the radio to listen to the 1950 World Cup final between Uruguay and Brazil. In a brand new Maracanã stadium, the Seleção lost 2-1 to La Celeste at home. It would have been a defeat anywhere else, but not in Pele's homeland. Today, this event is known as the Maracanã Blow, a tragic day where a football game cost the lives of several people. Heart attacks, at least 3 inside the stadium, a wave of suicides. It was in this context that Pele decided to become a professional footballer like his father Dondinho. But at that time, the boots were still far from the young Edson. He polished shoes to bring home a few pennies. His mother, marked by his father's sporting failure, refused for a long time to see her son play football. Pele had to wait until his 16th birthday in 1956 to join Santos FC. There, he revealed himself to Brazil. He scored 36 goals in 29 league games in his first season as a starter. Naturally, he was called up to the national team for the first time a year after his arrival in the southeast of Brazil. The young player was just about to play in the 1958 World Cup in Sweden when a controversy arose. According to a majority of Brazilians, the Seleção would not be able to lift the World Cup because of the black players, as in 1950 racism fractured the country. Pele, in particular, was attacked, but Vicente Paola, the Brazilian coach, decided to call him up anyway. He would not regret it. In the semifinal of the tournament, the prodigal son scored a hat-trick against the French team. Led by the legendary Raymond Kopa and Just Fontaine, Brazil will face Sweden in the final. Great games make for great careers, and Pele's career was no exception. Brazil beat Jorge Renor's men 5-2 again with a brace from Pele. The Maracanã blow was over. The Seleção won their first star. The novel took shape, and Pele became an icon.
No, I feel comfortable in that. Of course, it's nice when you know the people recognize what you're doing. The people like you. That's very nice. But it's a very big responsibility.
When the footballer becomes the symbol of a nation still unknown to the rest of the world, Brazil becomes the country of Pele. His story follows the main lines of Brazilian economic development. The region is industrializing little by little. For his part, the player went from national star with Santos to world icon thanks to his triumph with the national team. More than an icon, at only 17 years old, he has become a brand. Products used his image. A brand of coffee was named after him, and Adidas and Puma even signed a pact to ensure that neither competitor would use Pele as a muse. In short, the early 1960s saw the first large-scale starification of a football player, as evidenced by Pele's new nickname, the King. Icon, brand, star. The issues surrounding Pele went beyond sport and economics and became a political issue. In 1961, Jânio Quadros, then president of Brazil, issued the decree that elevated Pele to the rank of national treasure. This move prevented European giants such as Real Madrid, Juventus, and Benfica from snapping up the Brazilian jewel, clubs that had fallen under Pele's spell at a time when Santos was touring Europe and capitalizing on the image of its treasure. Then popular rumors took over to further fuel the legend of the King. In 1969, his mere presence in Nigeria on the occasion of a friendly match between Santos FC and the local club Benin City is said to have stopped a civil war during his stay. Pele is said to have reached the record mark of 1,000 career goals on November 19, 1969 with Santos FC, a disputed figure. Almost 500 of these goals were scored in unofficial games, such as gala matches, warm-up games, or were simply not filmed. The 1962 World Cup was broadcast on television. In Chile, the Seleção won a second star. However, Pele only played 2 games during the tournament due to an injury sustained against Czechoslovakia. His talent was widely known, and the national teams put in place an anti-Pele game plan, the idea being simple, to knock him out. The proof? Bis repetita. 4 years later in England, Pele conceded tackle after tackle and Brazil were eliminated in the group stage. Pele announced his international retirement at the age of 25. More than a failure, it was the reflection of a country that had lost its smile. Racism, discrimination, and dictatorship. In the early 1960s, Brazil was in a state of euphoria. But by 1964, the party was over. The military took power in a coup, and things got worse 5 years later when Emilio Medici came to power. The dictator introduced a law that allowed anyone to be arrested without cause at any time. The country was awash in violence. Unlike other iconic sportsmen such as Muhammad Ali, or his compatriot Socrates later on, the instigator of Corinthian democracy, Pele did not get involved politically. The symbol of Brazil remained silent and kept a smooth image. His public reputation took a hit, and his performances on the field aged as quickly as he did. But the government in power knows that football is a formidable political tool in Brazil. Their goal? To get Pele back into the national team for the 1970 World Cup in Mexico. Pele agreed to come out of retirement, but
nem eu escalo o ministério, nem o presidente escala time. Você está vendo que nós nos entendemos muito bem.
The new coach, João Saldanha, refuses to give in to the whims of those in power. However, the interview was enough for the Brazilian Football Association to oust Saldanha. Mario Zagallo, Pele's former teammate in the national team, was chosen to replace him 2 months before the World Cup. Pele will go to Mexico to face the biggest challenge of his career.
Then for me in 70, the World Cup was more important because whole country, whole Brazil waited for the championship.
Brazil is waiting. Pele answers. First match, first victory for Brazil, and first goal for the king in the competition. The Seleção advanced to meet the reigning world champions, England. For many, the winner of this match will have a great chance of reaching the final. Jairzinho gave the Brazilians the lead on the hour mark with an assist from Pele. That was to be the only goal after the 90 minutes. Romania then tried to stop the Samba, but in vain. 3-2. Pele again and again scored another brace in his career. He had been criticized before the tournament began and even booed off the pitch a few weeks earlier in Chile. But the prodigal son was back in the hearts of the fans. Even if, at the beginning of the quarterfinals, Pele broke the sacred pact between Adidas and Puma with a little clandestine advertising. Brazil eliminated Peru, but there was no time to celebrate. In the next round, it was Uruguay, who awaited Pele and his band. No, like Zidane against Brazil in 2006, he did not score in this match. But if there is a royal score to remember, it is probably this one. Clodoaldo, Jairzinho, and Rebellino responded to Kobila's opening goal. The Maracanã blow was forgotten. In the final, Italy met Brazil led by a determined Pele. The number 10 opened the scoring. Italy equalized, but the king decided otherwise. Gerson scored Brazil's second goal before Jairzinho and Carlos Alberto were served by Pele himself. When the final whistle sounded at the Estadio Azteca, Brazil were world champions. What followed was the epilogue of Pele's career, as if in a novel. He retired from the national team for good this time. His departure for the MLS and the New York Cosmos in 1975 made it possible to democratize soccer in Uncle Sam's land. His numerous commercials, his various humanitarian commitments, this is not the achievement of Edson Arantes do Nascimento, but the one of Pele, an individual in his own right, built from scratch by the context of an era. Like him, other footballers have played Pele's role throughout the world, and if the myth should ever have ended for some, you must leave when the public wants you to stay, not when they want you to go. Do you think there is a more iconic player than Pele? Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, don't hesitate to talk about our channel around you, to like it, to share it. See you soon for a new video. Ciao!